10th.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Matthew Bellman, Ryan Kostrowski. This is the DFS 5-pack. What we're doing today is we're just going to do a mock fantasy baseball draft just to kind of get the juices flowing. You're probably a little bit more into it. I know you follow all this stuff really, really closely. I heard that Nolan Arenado guy got traded. But we just kind of want to knock the dust off, talk a little fantasy baseball because the season's just a little over a month away.
Yeah, really, really excited over here, obviously. I'm excited and talk some MLB with you.
All right, so I'm 9, you're 10, it looks like, for picks. And this is just a mock draft, so you play a lot more points leagues. I play a lot more roto. I play a little head-to-head as well. I do run a bunch of leagues too, so if anybody's looking for a fantasy baseball league to get into, let me know. And more than anything, this is just us knocking the dust off. This is my first...
The best day of the year, draft day.
All right, that was really loud in my ear. We're started. Damn, it feels really weird right away looking at Mike Trout down there at 5.
That's exactly what I was going to say, man. It feels bizarre, doesn't it?
It does. Do you agree? I mean, would you take Tatis went number 1, Betts went number 2. Would you still take Trout 1, or you think he belongs down there in the middle of the first round now?
Why is he not projected number 1? That's my question. Why do you think?
Maybe he's not running quite as much. Because if my memory serves me correctly, and again, this is first look of the year. I have done no research on fantasy baseball yet. I don't remember him stealing as many bases last year.
If you had the number 1 pick, who would you take?
I mean, it's hard not to take Betts just because he's also really good. And my God, is that Dodgers team loaded?
I was going to say, yeah, Betts, but I was going to say also Tatis, man.
I get that. Shortstop, he's amazing. He's young. He's going to run. He's going to hit for power. I don't know. It's definitely a question for the first time in a while.
It's a question for sure. And there's another big question I want to ask you. Like, I haven't looked at this a ton. Like, where does a guy like Randy Arozarena go for you?
Oof. That's a wonderful question because he was so good in the postseason last year that you see what the ceiling is. But at the same time, like, come on. Our sample size on him is small. I remember in 1991, Mark Lemke looked like the greatest fantasy baseball player ever in the playoffs. And I think we know what happened to him.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough one, right?
Yeah, for sure. I can get playing for the upside right there.
It's weird seeing Yelich all the way at 14.
Yeah, I think that's a steal right there. And I do, looking at this, though, know that I want to pick in the top 5 because I like these guys right here better than the bottom half of the first run.
I think there's a drop-off after Soto.
I agree. So I want to go in the top 5. Oh, I'm up. Man, I'm going to go with... Well, I'm going to pick Christian Yelich right here, actually.
Sorry, that's loud. Turn off the...
The sound's up in the top right corner.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, now I'm on the clock for 2 in a row. Man, I think that is, I hate to say it, but going to be really, really good this year. Give me Francisco Lindor. And it gives me something to root for if this were a league we're actually playing, for real. And then
I definitely like Lindor over your current boy, Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, better lineup. And then give me just the Freddie Freeman.
All right, now it's back to me. Some good questions right here. I get the arguments. If you like pitching, Shane Bieber's an all-star. Trevor Story, I worry about a little bit more, just because he's going to be lacking the protection he's had before with Nolan Arenado. So I think for me, I'm going to go with Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, I was going to say my thing about Bieber, like, I think you can make the argument he's the first pitcher off the board.
Oh, I think it's a great argument. He was so good last year. Like, I trust Jacob deGrom just to be Jacob deGrom, but at this point, like, Bieber is, I mean, the upside on him is unreal.
You're right. I probably trust deGrom anymore, for sure. And
just a longer sample size.
It's funny, like, it always happens, but like it seems like this is the year where like some of the normal stud names are dropping. Max Scherzer, you mentioned Mike Nolan Arenado. I mean, these guys have been top 10 picks for the past 5 years, it seems.
I like Bieber and I like Jacob deGrom, but I can tell you if I don't have those guys, I'm not reaching for a Yu Darvish in round 2. No way, no how.
What about Cole?
Cole, okay. But like even Walker Buehler, I'm not taking him with a second-round pick.
I don't think it's as crazy as you do, but I probably don't either. I mean, a little bit like, I mean, what hitter here do you think is like some lock over these pitchers? I guess that would be my comeback question to you.
I wouldn't say that they're a lock, but I don't like Yu Darvish at the end of the second round. Come on. I can't do it. He was really good for a while last year. Give me Corey Seager in that loaded lineup. Give me
these San Diego guys are flying like hotcakes.
Yeah, well, I mean, they are the pretty new toy. We talk about that all the time, right? Like people like the flashy new toy, and San Diego's flashy as hell.
They are. I'll say this: like their pitching staff's in a good spot. Like in Darvish, nice pitcher park. Real good division, except for the Dodgers. Like he's in a good spot here. I could see it coming crashing down. I know why you're hesitant, and I wouldn't take him in the second round either.
Give me something safe in round 2, right? Not Yu Darvish, who it was great last year, but we've also have a full career of him being nothing compared to what he was last year.
Fair. The only other counter I'll say is, man, the pitching is weak.
All right, now I'm up. So we got Giolito, Bo Bichette, Alex Bregman, Adunya. I mean, I think the question right here now for me is Anthony Rendon or Nolan Arenado?
And whoever you don't take, I will take the other one.
I'm going to go with Rendon. I like a full season of him with Mike Trout and the boys down there, but there's no way for me to know if that's the right answer or not.
For sure. Yeah, I don't really like this spot at all. I got two in a row right here, so I will take Arenado. Not gonna lie, it feels kind of like I don't know. Not sure how it feels. Man, pitching is weak. Ooh. I almost see a pitcher, but I'm not going to do it because I don't want to take someone I don't like here. Even though this doesn't even matter. You know what? Since pitching is getting weak, I'm just going to make something else really weak for everyone. I'm going to take Bo Bichette.
Okay. Here's my question for all the other people in this draft. It's a mock draft. This is not even a league. Why are 9 of you on auto pick right now? Like, what is the point of going onto the ESPN website, entering a mock draft, and then not actually doing the draft? I'm going to grab Tim Anderson.
I like it. Who do you like more, Bo Bichette or Tim Anderson?
I trust Tim Anderson more, but I'm sure the upside of Bo Bichette might be a little bit better. Anderson, this is a guy that we've been pounding in the DFS world for the last year or two. He's quietly really gone under the radar how good he is.
I actually think I like Anderson more. I like Bo Bichette a lot this year. Why is his upside more? Like, I don't know. I love the White Sox lineup. I mean, I also like the Blue Jays lineup a lot too. Now the Blue Jays, I don't know how much. I mean, obviously, I know you don't follow a ton. They added George Springer and Michael Brantley to their lineup.
Yeah. Also, Vlad looks like he is primed for a breakout year. That's a candidate for me all over the place. I like him a lot this year.
You've seen pictures, huh?
Yeah. I mean, dude lost. He's projected. I wish he was only first base eligible, but first base is not as strong as it used to be, where like there was so many good first basemen and all the other positions were weak by comparison. He looks like he's taking it seriously. He really worked on his body.
If he's really good this year, their lineup is going to be scary. I mean, Springer, Brantley, him, Chet, Biggio. They got other guys, Teoscar Hernandez.
Randall Grichuk.
Yeah, Grichuk. missing someone too. Yeah, exactly. Biggio. Oh, Gurriel.
Yep.
Like that's a good line. Like when they're all hitting well.
Most
What do you think
definitely.
about Toronto?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What do you think about Springer in Toronto?
I don't think it's good for them to bring in somebody who's been part of a winning culture, even though it's a winning culture that's a little frowned upon. They did a lot of winning down in Houston the last few years, and that's where Toronto's trying to make the next step. I don't know a ton about Springer's locker room leadership and if that's going to transfer over to the Toronto Blue Jays, but it is nice to bring somebody in who's been there and done that.
He is better than those other guys too. Like he's much more proven, and when he's one of those guys up and down.
Definitely. I don't know.
I remember there was a time on DK. Like, go ahead.
I said, when it comes to me, I'm definitely taking Vlad. Vlad's a priority for me this year if I can grab him in round 4 or 5. The potential here is monstrous.
Yeah, I love him too. Brought him up.
And since everybody's on auto pick, I should be just fine to get him.
Interesting. Like, I get why you took him here there, but like, do you like him more than Aaron Judge?
Not necessarily, because that's the other guy I'm looking at right there that I draft a lot of Aaron Judge in my leagues because like the power, the good lineup and everything like that. And he seems to go slightly underappreciated by projections, not necessarily on where he always goes.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I like Judge this year, especially when he's falling like this. I mean,
Yeah, like
man,
how many people can hit 50 home runs?
Right? Also, like, think that like JD Martinez is sneaky this year.
I agree.
It's baseball season. A lot of these up and comers are, man. Just excited. I do feel like I need a pitcher. I haven't drafted one yet. All right, I'll take Glass though.
So Rosarina is projected like 64th overall. That seems about right.
Yeah, seems. I mean, it could be notch too high, notch too low. Any of the above.
All right, I already have a third baseman. Otherwise, I think Suarez is just always a very, very solid pick.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like a little worried about Cincinnati this year, but that doesn't mean Suarez won't do his.
All right here in this spot. Let's take Gleyber Torres. I like shoring up my middle infield. Also, he's good, and I think the Yankees might score some runs this year.
Yeah, me too.
It's always easier to get your peripheral numbers when you have good players around you.
100%. 100%. That's another reason I like Judge.
Yeah, I like Judge a lot too.
They're unlike the Padres. They're not the shiny new toy, so they're getting slept on.
Yeah, and at the end of the year, would you be surprised at all if the Yankees average a half run more per game than the Padres? Because I certainly would not.
No, I wouldn't either. That's a lot. I wouldn't expect that, but wouldn't be like shocked.
Yeah, the Yankees offense is also, again, it's really good, but I like that point. It's not the shiny new toy.
Yeah, agreed. I guess a couple people are still actually picking in a while.
A few of them. So, as opposed to just pounding what's up here, we can kind of scroll through some of these guys and, any sleepers. I'm with you. I hate that he's only DH eligible, but JD Martinez could easily have a nice bounce back season right here. Last year was weird. So, I'm going to be looking for guys that I think have big upside who maybe had a bad season. That's where I think Christian Yelich. I mean, do we just think that all of a sudden he's no good? Last year was weird. We saw a lot of good players with bad seasons.
For sure. A couple guys stand out for me on like this page right here. You mentioned it, JD Martinez, and then also the other guy was Jordan Alvarez.
That's what I thought you would say.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you talked about how many guys have 50 home runs. He's not the shiny new toy anymore. So that's why he's like falling. He was hurt last year. I haven't checked into his injury issues, and he has not yet been cleared for on-field work at spring training. So, I mean, I don't know.
All right, well,
I don't know.
so I'm a Brewers guy, and I am a Corbin Burns fan. He has elite strikeout upside, so that's a guy I like right there. I also like Keston Hiura from the Milwaukee Brewers. Again, I'm a Brewers guy, so these are guys I watch closely. Guess what? You don't lose points because you suck at defense.
Well, it's nice. He's not going to suck at defense anymore because we're going him to first base.
Yeah, and he still isn't going to lose playing time because he's not a good defender. So you just care about offense. He's a good hitter.
Yeah, like he's going to be Milwaukee's starting first baseman. Colton Wong's their starting second baseman.
So now you're going to get second base and first base eligibility.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes me like him more, and you don't have to worry about the defense. They're kind of just like letting him go from the defense. One guy I was going to ask you about was Javier Baez. He just went, but I've usually been real high on him.
I like the upside. I also like Biggio right here. We talked about this offense. I love guys with dual position flexibility like this because later in the year, when you pick up like a stud first baseman off the waiver wire, all of a sudden you have the ability to move Biggio all over the place. It helps you deal with injuries. And another thing, in a year where we're probably going to have to deal with COVID issues, I think position flexibility is going to be even bigger this year than ever before.
Well, speaking of position flexibility, I'm going to do just that. I'm going to take Max Muncy, who's got first, second, and third availability. So,
and he's good.
That. Yeah, and he's good. And then the other guy I'm going to take right here. Oh, he went. I was going to take Zach Gallen. He just went. All right. I'm not going to take a picture there. Let me see. Another guy that looks really in shape this year, Gary Sanchez.
Gary Sanchez.
Yeah,
okay.
Every year, but I mean, I was running out of time, had to pick someone.
All right. I need to start working on my outfield or getting some pitching. I do worry about all these Jays outfielders, though, because if one of them starts slumping, they have so many bodies there that they could just start losing runs. So I'm going to take Corbin Burns right here. I like Hiura a little bit better for where I'm drafting, but I'm also loaded on the infield, and I need some pitching.
For sure.
It's always a big deal to me. I don't go very hard on pitching early, but what I do want to find, usually in the first 10 rounds, is one or two starting pitchers with huge strikeout upside. It's harder to find the huge strikeout upside guys at the end. I like to wait on pitching because when I go with a bulk draft strategy of getting a lot of good options, usually I can get a few of those guys that work out well. But what you're not going to get towards the end of the draft is high strikeout upside pitchers.
Yeah.
ERA and whip will come and go, but strikeout guys are strikeout guys.
For shizzle. There are some sleeper pitchers I like too, though.
Who are some of them? We're not actually playing for money here, so we might as well just spew those out.
I mean, I think Corey Kluber is an interesting look, like all the way down there. He's supposedly healthy. Like, we know he's got upside for being all the way down there. Sixto Sanchez was awesome last year. He's one of the top pitching prospects in baseball. I'm not sure what I'm missing, why he's like all the way down there. Those are two guys for sure. I think Jesus Luzardo is kind of a boomer bust option with upside. Dinelson Lamet is a guy I'm potentially interested in.
Okay, side note right there. When you're drafting, and I think you'll agree with this one, and I'm right here, and I got Lamet or Zach Greinke, give me Lamet all day long. Room for growth. We know who Greinke is. He's a guy who doesn't strike guys out anymore. Maybe you feel safer about it, but I always pick more like you pick DFS players when it comes to drafting pitchers. Give me like premier upside. Like, do we think Greinke's all of a sudden going to be a Cy Young candidate again? I don't.
No, agreed. That's why I like, Lamet and Sixto Sanchez, two guys I like a lot here.
Yeah, like you'll find Lamet on a bunch of my teams. I won't be drafting Zach Greinke at all in this situation just because I really don't envision a scenario where he gets better at his advanced age.
Agreed. A guy that I like this year that's obviously more of a sleeper than anything, Byron Buxton. They no longer have Eddie Rosario. He's going to play every day, and we know he's got upside. Another guy kind of in that same mold, I'm buying what he's selling. Give me Anthony Santander.
Okay. It's another one easy me to talk into. Stanton, only DH eligibility all the way down here.
That hurts.
Yeah, it does. I hate only DH eligible guys. I'm a Zach Wheeler fan, but I don't like spending money on him right down here.
Agreed. Outfield's loaded. I'll say that.
Definitely wait on outfield. I don't try to draft relievers right away either. So this becomes a tougher pick down here. Oh boy, I'm on the clock. Doesn't really matter. Give me Grandal then, just because that's not who I would normally take right there. But we're trying to talk more than we're just trying to actually draft guys in a mock draft right here.
For sure. Not about it. Yeah, I guess I need some pitchers now. That's what I'm looking for.
When it comes to the catching position this year, if you don't get JT Realmuto, I'm fine waiting. Catcher to me isn't very strong. I know you like Sanchez too, so maybe that's another one with the premier upside. But I'm done like going early on a Wilson Contreras. I just don't think is that dude anymore.
That's fair, although I kind of like him this year. It's funny you said him.
Yeah, whoever it is. Like I'm fine waiting on catcher.
I do think the Cubs are another team that potentially are getting slept on.
Yeah, understandably so. They are also no longer the shiny new two. What about Yaz down here?
Yeah, he was another guy I was thinking about. Like, who would you take, him or Santander?
I'm just a bigger Santander fan, so I think I would get sucked into Santander right there. No questions about it.
Yeah, same. But I think they're comparable for sure.
He was so good for us last year for DFS. And just a side note for anybody catching this, we are the DFS 5-pack. You can sign up for a membership at the website link below. We do a lot of DFS talk for baseball, basketball, and football. I'm sure a lot of you guys are already our subscribers and watchers, but if you happen to be new to the channel.
For sure. I got a good one to ask you. Changes didn't get talked much at all this offseason. Josh Bell traded to the Nationals. Like, what do you think of Josh Bell? Is he just like that kind of flash in the pan for that 1.5 year?
Half year. It was like a month and a half. It wasn't even a half year. So yeah, I think he might be. Like again, we've not 4 or 5 seasons into his career. We've seen one unbelievable month and a half stretch where he was the best player in baseball for about 45 days. Other than that, he has given me no real buying signs. Now he's moving to a slightly better ballpark on a better team, but I'm not sure that that matters.
I don't disagree. I'm not sure I quite agree, but I'm going to take a reliever Iglesias on the Angels, who I expect to be much better this year. Pitcher, so I'll take Sonny.
Got a guy right down here, Joey Gallo. I guess I'm on the clock right now, and I'll take Gallo. I think one of the most important things for newcomers to fantasy baseball is to understand how your league is set up. Joey Gallo tends to be graded on ESPN's website is when they measure by average. If you play like in leagues where I play in, where it's based on base percentage as opposed to batting average, he for me is a significantly better play because he doesn't have that glaring weakness anymore.
Agree. I mean,
He walks a
definitely
lot.
a ton, especially like if it's a league where, also like on that same point, know if strikeouts count or not. If you don't get any negative points for strikeouts, it makes a guy like Gallo like move up a lot.
Yeah, Gallo goes to at bat and he does one of 4 things. He hits a pop-up, he hits a home run, he strikes out or he walks. Like you're going to get big home run numbers for him, but if the walks don't help you a ton and the strikeouts hurt you, there's another spot where, like you said, like he can lose value and know how to properly assess these guys.
No doubt about that.
So for a lot of you guys who have been playing fantasy baseball for years, that's probably not a big deal for you. But like I run like several baseball leagues, and it's usually in like mixed skill level. And one of the things I try to tell like the newbies, just to make them a little bit more of an even playing field, is make sure you understand the scoring system and how the website you're drafting on rates these guys. Because unless you feel very comfortable in what you're doing, you are going to become a victim to the rankings.
For sure. No doubt about that. Like, couldn't agree more.
The other guys I got to like down here. Let's see. All right, I'm on the clock right here. At this point, I'm just more trying to get in some guys that are good talking points for us. What about Austin Nola at catcher? That's a guy I could get on board with down here, though.
Is he like only catcher?
What's that?
I'm not. I'm just. Is he their only catcher? Like
No, but I think he's going to take like 2 out of 3 days.
okay. I mean, I like him, but takes me off of. I couldn't take. I don't know. Not a priority.
No, but catcher's weak, and outside of those guys we mentioned, not a
Sure.
lot of them I'm going to be a big fan of. Cronenworth is another guy right down here. 3-position eligibility, going to be playing for a good team. On a year of COVID like this, where guys are going to be out probably consistently, he should be in the lineup a lot for a good offense. And I think position flexibility might be even more important than ever. Also, for those of you who manage leagues, make sure you set up your league with extra IR spots this year, or DL spots, IL.
For sure. All right, I'm gonna take Sixto Sanchez, a guy I talked about, and then I'm going to take. And I already have Judge. I'm just gonna take Stanton.
Yeah. At this point, the 45, 50 home run upside of Stanton's too big not to really, really consider.
Mm-hmm.
Other guys down here that I think would be worthy of taking a look at. Again, guys, we'll do a few more of these. This is a little bit. What about Mitch Money Haniger? I feel like we haven't seen him in a real long time.
Yeah, I know. I was just about to ask you about Kyle Lewis.
Ooh, I like that pick.
Like, I mean, the only thing about him is like the sophomore slump. I'll say this: like, there's still a lot of good potential hitters here. MLB right now.
I'm going to be missing out on my pick right here. But we want to talk over more of these guys. Whatever. Okay, guys, we'll do a few more of these. This is good to knock the dust off. This season's going to be here before we know it. And we'll also be doing a lot of MLB drafting on the website Drafters. If you haven't played yet here, I would encourage more of you guys to sign up. I'm having a blast. We do like daily drafts with our customers. They're daily snake drafts like this, only you're just drafting for the day.
Yeah, it's really fun. I'm hoping to do one after this.
I'm on board.
Sweet.
I'm on board. It's fun. This is one of our advertisers that we play around with, but we play on Drafters basically every single day. And I think my favorite part about it is the fact that it's, when you play on DraftKings or FanDuel, like everybody has the same players. Like last night, I had Giannis on my Drafters team and my DK team, but in DK everybody has them, so I'm not getting anything. But on my Drafters team is my guy I get to root for.
No doubt about it. It is very nice for sure.
Let's see if we got any more sleepers we want to talk about down here. Like, I don't mind taking a shot on a Manuel Margot. He showed me a few things down the stretch run that I could see him being an everyday outfielder for the Tampa Bay Rays with like 2020 potential.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I got one for you. How about Geo Orchella? I mean, like I'm thinking about it, and a lot of times it's helpful, it's hurtful. You think about it in DFS terms. There are plenty of days in a good spot where Gio Urshela is like 4,500 or above.
Well, and because he plays for the Yankees, you know that they're going to have a bunch of injured players and he'll be a starter.
Right? I guess is that the reason why he's not going is because he's a little bit for another guy to come in.
It's possible. I'm trying to look down for more of these sleepers down here. Like, I would so much rather take a chance on a young player down here than grab a Miguel Cabrera.
Okay, what about someone in the middle like Andrew Benintendi now on a new team?
I like that. I like that a lot. A change of scenery, everything that goes along with it. At this point, like, who expects Miguel Cabrera to turn back into the old Miguel Cabrera? I like to shoot for a lot of upside at the end of baseball drafts. Guys who you can see taking like a big next step. They're not all going to work out. You're probably going to miss on a bunch of them. But, you know, at this point in the draft, like, we know who, like, Pollock and McCutchen are. These are guys who could potentially get worse. Like, you'd see Pollock barely get playing time this year if he's not playing well.
I'm on the clock. I didn't even realize. One guy opposite of that I actually kind of like this year, he's not a hitter, but he's an older player. David Price.
Well, yeah, he's still pretty good though.
Yeah, like I think the off year might help him, especially like there's no pressure on him now. Like they won a World Series, they've got Bauer, they've got Bueller. I think he slides right in there.
And I think he's even better value if you're in a wins league where you get points for the win. If you're a quality starts league, I don't think it matters nearly as much. But he plays for the Dodgers, and Vegas has them currently expected to go 162-0 this year, which means he's going to get a lot of wins.
Yeah, another guy. I don't know. Nice talking. Shuhei. Like what's his deal? I'm not sure.
I mean, you're the Ohtani whisperer, so I thought that would be one you would know.
And I'm not sure. It's hard to know what his deal is. I think he's a nice pick right here. Wish he wasn't only DH eligible, but also spring pitcher eligible too. But still,
Yeah, I like looking through some of these guys at the end just to see if we have any good talking points. But CJ Crone in Colorado for the first year, I could see him as a guy I wouldn't mind targeting at the end of a draft.
yeah, for sure. I think he's signed on just like a minor league deal, so I don't know. Like, got to assume he makes the team.
He's not a bad player. He's just, any time somebody moves down to Coors, they get an automatic bump in what you can expect out of them.
For shizzle.
Oh, and another catcher I don't mind is Travis d'Arnaud. Hits in the middle of a really good lineup.
Yeah.
So also, if he fell to me, I would not necessarily not pull the trigger on him.
I get that.
I don't know. I like to look for upside in fantasy baseball drafts because there are a lot of good pickups throughout the year in a fantasy baseball season. It's different than some of the other sports. Like you need to be a starting running back in football. In basketball, if you're not good enough to put up monster numbers, that probably doesn't change as much throughout the season. Baseball's got guys who, they're off one year and they're on this year. Like I like the idea of a Jonathan VR, in your later 20 rounds. Why? Because we know if he all of a sudden starts playing better, he could easily swipe 40 bases this year. He also might not play well, might get out of the starting lineup on a regular basis, and he might be sitting on your bench, but there's real upside there.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, baseball's full of guys like that.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the year, you could say that about a lot of guys that aren't like the true studs, like Carlos Santana, now in Kansas City. Like, what if they're just a little bit better and he has like a really good year? It's not inconceivable. Or like he could suck, but like I think there is like kind of upside there at this price point. Maybe he's not the guy that you're speaking of, but I don't even hate a guy like him here. I mean, he hit 25 home runs last year.
Yeah. So from a strategic standpoint, in the middle of the draft right here is usually when I'm pretty full up on offense, and I love to just, again, take upside pitch. I'd go for consistency early and upside late.
I get that. It makes a ton of sense.
You're not going to win your baseball league in your first round, but you can lose it by trying too hard to go out of the way.
Truth. All right. When I talked about him, give me Carlos Santana. Back it up.
See, I know I'm still just getting back into baseball. I didn't even realize Paxton was back on the Mariners.
Yeah, he just signed with them. All right. And then another guy I kind of like, Dylan Carlson, young player, showed flashes when he called up. Like he's another guy you were talking about.
And this is one of the reasons I can wait on pitching is like I can grab a guy like a Patrick Corbin in the 17th round who, I don't know, I don't think he's going to change the world, but I feel comfortable with him as one of my higher end starters.
That's fair.
Because I'll usually pound and then I'll grab like him and Marquez and, Paxton, not Caleb Smith, these higher strikeout guys. And hope to get one or two, a few of them right.
Mm-hmm.
Could be some of these other guys. Sandy Alcantara. Bassett.
It is getting a little bit low.
What's your World Series pick right now?
Man, that's tough.
Brewers, Indians?
I was going to say Cardinals, Indians.
Cardinals, Indians. It's hard not to look at the Dodgers as just like a heavy favorite to get back in there. It's not always the way it works in baseball, but God, is that a talented baseball team.
For sure. Not about it. They're obviously the heavy favorites to win it all again.
No doubt about it. From the AL, though, significantly more wide open, in my opinion.
Agree.
Like last year, we saw the Rays take on the Dodgers. Like, how much more would you bet on the Dodgers to go back than the Rays? Like, those odds would be staggering to me.
Agree. Wholeheartedly agree there.
I'm going to take Paxton here for both starts. He's healthy this year.
Yeah, right. He's pitching too. So, all right, a guy like Tristan McKenzie showed upside, and man, the Yankees have so many guys. Remember how good Domingo Germán was for them?
Yeah, that was a hot minute, wasn't it?
Yeah, now he's like fighting for their fifth rotation spot. Or I'll take Bassett, I guess. A little bit, but
This is definitely reminding me I got a lot more work to do on research for baseball. Been out of this game for a few minutes.
for sure.
And for me, like, again, know your league. And if you're playing in a roto league, you don't have to go as aggressive on the save categories as some people will try to take all the closers. But for me, it's if you can get like at least 2 closers you feel comfortable with to at least leapfrog the 3 or 4 other teams out there that don't get anything for closers. So at least you can find yourself an extra 4, maybe 5 points right there. And if you happen to be good on the waiver wire, you can pick up the right guys and maybe even work your way up into like a 7 or an 8 right there, as opposed to just completely punting it. Plus, you'll throw in a couple extra strikeouts here and there that don't hurt.
Yeah, I actually forgot about closer, so definitely going to need to take 1 or 2 or 5 coming up. But
Yeah,
I mean, this is just a mock draft.
Yeah, it's the first one of the year. I think I've definitely operated under this strategy before too, that I spend like 5 of my last 6 picks on closers who have an opportunity to win the job and just hoping you get 2 of them right. If you get 3 or 4 of them right, hell yeah. But at least getting 1 or 2 of them right so you can leapfrog a couple of those other people who don't do anything in the way of closers. I do not make them an early priority though.
Yeah, it depends what type of league you're playing in, of course, as you mentioned multiple times now.
Yep. So you think Craig Kimbrell has any opportunity to be a decent player ever again, or is he as done could be?
I mean, but, it's hard to love him considering how he's looked,
What's the deal with Chris Sale this year? How long to start the season is he out for?
I think months.
Months, okay. Might be harder depending on how many IL spots you have as well to stash somebody like that. So when evaluating, throw that into the back of your mind. How about Thor? Is he another guy out for a few months?
Yeah. I think so. All right, maybe we should just wrap it up. Let the auto draft do its thing.
Sure, that sounds good, guys. I think we did a little opportunity. We want to talk a little strategy, talk about some sleepers. We'll come back out here and do one of these again, probably within the next week. This is just an opportunity to knock the dust off. I do like a guy like a Josh Donaldson around here in 21.
Same. He's still there?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he just got picked. Yeah, for sure. Same. I was going to mention him rounds ago.
Yeah, the best ability is availability, and he hasn't always done a great job of that. But I've still seen like flashes out of him when he's been able to actually stay on the field a little bit, and he plays for a good offense.
No doubt about it. It kind of just shows you how deep the draft is, though, also.
Well, when it comes down to it, pick teams on good offenses. Maybe they won't have a great season, but you don't run into RBIs and runs if your team scores 2.5 runs per day. When you score 6 runs per day, if you play for San Diego, New York, the Dodgers and stuff like that, your opportunity to succeed is significantly higher.
Amen to that.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.